decide what for yourself whether you're okay or not. Now let us be clear what are our concerns. Our main concern is the station that they are proposing will be less than 15 meters. I repeat, 15 meters from the back of these houses here. Okay, so I have passed about 10 flyers, but unfortunately I don't have enough copies of them. But if you see that, you will see that the station, proposed station, original as I mentioned was next to MRT, next to TV3. But the new proposed alignment now starts across the road. So if you are taking 2123, when you turn left, immediately you turn left, right, to go to Damansara Utama. As you turn left, the station is on your left hand side, not on the right hand side where TV3 and the old wing of Bandar Utama is. Okay? So the starting point is from there. Then it will go along Sungai Kayu Ara. So as you go along Sungai Kayu Ara, it goes around here. Right at the back there is Sungai Kayu Ara. Then it goes across the whole range of Sungai Kayu Ara in front of Road 13. Right across Road 13, you have your river. Who's from Road 13 here, by the way? Okay, so it will go in front of the road, in front of Road 13. There is some misconception or misapprehension of facts. It's not proposed to be on Road 13. It is not right in front of our houses, Road 13. It is on the river. So what you will see is, you will see it running right above the river. In order to build the alignment over the river, of course, you must have something to support it. So the pillars that will support it will be by the river banks. How the method will be, at the moment, they are saying that single pillar and then supporting the alignment. It may change later on, all depends on the result of their geological test later on at the river. So that is the proposed alignment. What is our concern now?
You want to sit here?
Okay.
Our concern is that if you take the LRT3 to be by the river, the main concern that we have is that first and foremost, you're talking about a potential. First I have to make it very clear. There is no black and white from LRT regarding would this house be acquired? That is the important question. Is this house been acquired? The answer is they have not said yes or no. What they have said that it may not. Okay? So when on the 16th of May, when the first briefing was done with Prasarana, the question was posed to them. They mentioned that it all depends really where the station will be put up behind. If it is too close to the houses, then it may require acquisition. We do not know about that yet. So what we have done on the 16th of June, we have sent a formal letter to Prasarana putting up our concerns. So I just wanted to explain to you what we have done so far. As far as this letter is concerned, we put it up. The strongest objection was this: none of the residents were consulted about the realignment of this LRT3. Was anyone here by chance we were consulted by ERE consultant? No, right?
No.
So that was the main concern that the residents had, that if you're going to build a station here and you have houses which is less than 20 meters, surely the folks here ought to be consulted. If you're going to have an LRT running on Route 13 across, especially the houses closer to number 110 and above, surely you should inform the residents who says, look, we're going to have an LRT right in front of your house. Are you okay with it? Okay, so at least there must be some form of consultation. Prasarana were upfront. They said that it was the ERE Consulting's responsibility to consult the relevant resident. For some reason, Damansara Utama were not consulted. Okay? So Prasarana admitted to that fact. That is why they said that we need your feedback. Since it was not done, but it doesn't mean that we are voiceless. Yeah, we are here because we have voice. So first point, no consultation. Second point we mentioned to Prasarana was that what are the issues that we are looking at? So we are going on the basis of environmental implication. Now, many of us have been staying in Damansara Utama over 30 years, some 40 years. And all of us have seen the destruction of the river. I'm sure many of you would remember, I've only been here 16 years, so I cannot say much about the river. But those who've been here more than 30 years would know that river was quite a decent river before. It was a nice river. You don't see people throwing rubbish all around the whole stretch. You don't see the stagnation of water at the back. You don't see flash floods. By the way, flash flood is quite common at the back here when it rains heavily. Who lives at Road 36?
You know what?
Okay, so you will attest that whenever it rains, you have flash flood. Road 42 and 42A, whenever it rains up there, you will have flash floods there as well. So we are saying that there are concerns of the residents relating to flash floods, relating to soil erosion, relating to the possible destruction of fauna and flora along the river. And the main concern is that, do you really need to touch the river?
Will go down.
Even though they're not going to build the pillars right where the river is, but the moment you touch the river reserve, naturally you are already disturbing the ecological environment at that stretch. So we are suggesting to Prasarana, please have a relook. Instead of running through the Damansara Utama alignment through Kampung Kayu Ara, maybe you should perhaps look at other options. We'll discuss the option later. So we mentioned about the environmental impact. We also mentioned about traffic build up. When you have a station or at the Kampung Kayu Ara, you must run through Kampung Kayu Ara Road, which is Road 34. Who lives on Road 34 here? So Road 34 will be affected because they have to pass that road to go to Kampung Kayu Ara station. So as it is, you already have you will have traffic issue every Thursday when you have Pasar Malam, and now it will be a daily occurrence if an LRT station is built up right behind at Kampung Kayu Ara. Aside from that, there is also possibility of the Road 13 may be allowed as an access to go to the station. At the moment, in the plans, it is just the alignment. The plan would not say that whether the access would open from Road 13 or not. But there is always a possibility of that, because sometimes you see many of the current LRT, you always have access coming across from another side. Then you pay your ticket to go on, to the LRT. So that is also an issue. Rest assured, the moment if they start the building of construction over here, the noise pollution would increase tremendously. Those who live at Road 42, anyone from 42 here?
42A, is it?
42, yeah. So 42, you're already experiencing a lot of noise from the MRT, right? You can see the MRT here, all of you? It's just across there. So if you're going to have LRT3, imagine folks living here, left side, they'll be welcomed by the noise of MRT3. At the back, LRT3 will be competing with them. Okay? So they have to decide which alarm clock they want to use, MRT3 or LRT3, MRT1 or LRT3. So you're going to have this perennial problem here, the noise pollution, of course. Okay? Naturally, Prasarana would say that they will try to reduce the vibration as much as they can, but we are quite fearful. We are not great at maintenance. We are great at building things. After some years later, the maintenance will start deteriorating. You will notice that sound will have, you have more sounds coming out. So that's also a concern. When they build such a huge project, rest assured, I must apologize. The fan, this part here is supposed to be the power point, but when we open it today, we realize that already, cannot use. So this is the maintenance problem that we have. Okay, this is unfortunately comes under MPPJ, but it doesn't work. So we cannot access to the power point there. And we tried to connect to the houses a little bit too distant. So please, apologies for the weather. Luckily, at least it's not raining, yeah? Okay, so just now I mentioned about noise pollution. Now we also mentioned about the user experience. What would be the purpose having the LR3 right behind here? When you have MRT across the other side, would it not make perfect sense to have the LRT next to MRT? It doesn't make sense where you have to walk about 300 meters from one station to the other, crossing the road. It makes perfect sense for it to be next to each other. So we are suggesting them that look, relook at your drawing, because I think many do not realize that right behind the river there's a massive development taking place now. That is a project by Damansara Utama City Centre.